Folks, I just realized that I have been talking for the last 4 minutes, and I don't think I was streaming at all. Talking with the Forex lens here. Checking to make sure that this is going out to you guys. Oh, Mondays, they're a lot of fun, aren't they? I'm going to assume that y'all can hear me and see me. We'll see here. I was doing some videos for like little tutorials on the portal and then the signals section, and I think I forgot to change the key where I stream it to, so I am guessing that that was the problem. I believe I changed it back. Okay, all right, it is working now. Sorry about that. Uh, Sorry, folks. Hey, user error, my error. All right. Okay. What I was talking about before I talking to myself really was not talking to anybody. On the portal here, where you see these windows, the signals or then the trade ideas are going to be able to be posted here. I'm going to be able to post them here on and they should be updated. Just in case I mess something up, which is totally possible, I'm still going to have them up here until I can make sure you guys are getting these all correctly up here. All right. Anyways, Mondays are good for things like this happening. Okay, looking at gold. We're looking at gold all last week, and the week before, talking about the holiday. This is our first official full trading week since Christmas, which means we should have a lot of return to normalcy in our volume and trends and respect of general market analysis, technical analysis. And I'm still like the euro. I was talking all last week and ever since the holidays that over the holiday trading season, everything moves up, or they move down, or it moves flat. Whatever direction it was going before the major holiday is the direction that price will most likely continue to go. Doesn't matter how much it doesn't make sense. It's just kind of how those moves go, and they're kind of self-eating beasts because traders who continue to see these overbought levels and are like, well, I'm going to keep shorting it. They're just kind of feeding this run up here. This is like all short people who are short trying to feed the beast to get it to go down, but it doesn't work. But right now, the euro is kind of leading the move on this. But gold, I really feel that gold is definitely not in a position to keep going long. The only thing that would change my mind a little bit about that here is that we are in a traditional kind of setup on our composite index for a buying area on the 8-hour, but we are still really up above here in the gold. And you're going to notice, maybe you don't notice, but there is a huge divergence here. All right, there is a massive divergence in price and our oscillator. This is regular bearish divergence. This is really, really evident. So the move should be very, when it does correct, it should be very swift. And I am comfortable going short here and putting my stop above the high over there, a little bit above the high. Again, I have a pretty high stop tolerance. What are we saying here? going to short at, anywhere between here and, well, probably 1318. Really? This, yeah. And we're going to put the stop at like 1328. And we should have a large target area. Again, I'm not huge into giving people where their profit target should be or where their stop should be. That is up to each of you to determine where you're comfortable with that. But I can find you the entries and give you an idea. So I'm putting the first target area. It's going to have to be this angle. This angle is going to act as some natural support. We should expect to get a little bouncy here on the 1316 harmonic level. But target profit. I'm going to say, what is, if we got the 8 hours here, conservatively 1308. All right. This, again, this is really, really, really overbought. It's the angles that it has to test. Remember, if we talked about the law of angles, when an angle is broken, price wants to move up to test the next one. There is just kind of a wide open space here. These angles are very steep. So really, if it wants to test this angle, it has to do it in time. So we have to wait for it to shift over more. But really, gold is kind of a laggard here. There's really no particular fundamental. I'm not a huge fundamentals guy, but fundamentally, there's really not a whole lot of reason why gold is up when everybody is still risk on in the equities markets. It's like metals like gold, really are only great during unrest, uncertainty, and 2019 is the next panic phase. So 2018 is supposed to be kind of a breeze, according to Gann. Now let's take a peek at the euro. This guy's finally doing what we wanted it to do. I actually, didn't I do that yesterday? The day before, I think it was maybe yesterday. Trading view idea. Yeah, okay, yeah, I said the holiday season trend has ended. Important confluence of time and price in Gann theory. Most important dates of the year right now are the 3rd through the 7th, wherever it's the highest probability that the highs and lows of the year are made on or around those dates. And that what that means basically is wherever price ended at, or it was trading around on January 3rd through the 7th, that we can consider that to be the floor or the ceiling. So if price is trading above 120.29, then we can consider the market to be bullish rather. If it's trading below it, we can consider it to be bearish. I also wrote here that there's a firm rejection of any higher movement. This resistance arc in this idea. I mean, I'll get out of the idea and then show you the chart, but it was unable to breach its resistance arc. In fact, it was denied very violently, this move. And actually, if I hit the play button here where it says load new bars, which are the bars currently, that is a big move down. I got short, not where I wanted my fills, but I mean good enough. And then I updated this idea because there was a break of the 45. Okay, but just bringing that back to our chart here. I have on my long-term projection that this guy comes down to the 114 to 116 area, and certainly the most important place that it may get to first is this 117.60 area. But this resistance arc, if it acts as resistance, for the entire move. It's going to be a very steep move, and we have a lot of false move over the holidays. Um, there is a good short opportunity in here. I don't think that you have missed the short, but I would not. I'm not entering in a short again until um, well, let's see. I would really like to see a little bit of a bounce to test this longer trend here, this angle. That's the other thing, is that this angle was broken, and so where is it going to test? It's going to test the next angle, and that is right down here at 119, between 119.11 and 119.47. So if you have a high tolerance for a stop, then I mean getting in now isn't a bad idea. Otherwise, waiting for a little bit of a pullback. If I go to the hourly, right now on the hourly, we are getting maybe a little supportive price movement here. We're in oversold territory, but I mean, if we go back and look at oh yes, when I was doing my analysis on the euro last night, I want to bring up the weekly. The weekly is very, very bad looking for continuing to go long. If I clear out, we have what we have forming here is a pivot top. All right. Not only is this a bearish formation on a weekly chart, in candlestick theory, this is a pretty. You don't get a more closer to textbook inverted hammer than you do right here. And the other part of the candlestick theory and behavior is that when you have a candlestick where, if we're going to say that the pivot is to go lower, so if we have a candlestick here where the two on the side of it, when it has lower lows and lower highs than itself, then that is considered to be a pivot in candlestick theory. And you can see these happen all over the place. They're more important and more consistent in longer time frames, like weekly charts. Like right here, we have a pivot candlestick where we have we're going to move higher because the outside bars, they have higher lows and higher highs than the one in the middle here. So that is always a very good indication that price is going to reverse, especially if you use that in conjunction with your oscillators. So just looking at naked price on the euro, this is a bearish move. I know that for folks who are new to trading, if you may get sick to your stomach if I say I like to go short here. Oh God, I always bring those back. But we don't need to see that anymore, really. Having a 100 pip stop, if you have the tolerance for it, is fine. Or if you want to go from where's price at here? Putting a stop, about 100 pip stop is within my realm of comfort, and then having a if we're going long term here, we have a big swift move down. We're going to be about what is that? And then another 300, so about 550 pip move in the long run. But for right now, if you want to go short and be a little bit more tight with the stop, then above this 45 is appropriate. Or if you want to wait for a pullback, at Well, any like right now is fine. Or pull back to 1.20 to 1.199. 90. All right. And the 45 here. Really, if you just want to put a stop at or the pullback stops at, there we be. We are getting some supportive structure here for some move up. So, waiting for the pullback is not a bad idea. Ultimately, we have increasing volume as prices going down. That's generally a good sign for price to move back up again. We also have our oscillators and oversold conditions on the hourly. So, but again, these things can stay like this for a long time. The fact that we've been in oversold territory and have not pulled out of it is, and we haven't had a lot of participants push it back up. That's a pretty bearish sign. And the farther we go down, the less supportive structure we get. Especially from here, this is kind of a vacuum area. Especially when we hit the 119.67. I know I'm spending a lot of time on the euro pair here, but it's the most traded pair. Right below where price is at now to 160, this is a volume. This is a vacuum. The move down here should be pretty swift with a little bit of support here. But I mean, again, holiday trading, not a lot of volume. There is a lot of movement down here to the 1900 area. All right. We'll come back to this before we end our day. Looking at the euro pound, how's this guy working out? We've been trading it where it's been banking back and forth, and it capitulated. I don't know if any of you got on that short, but good for you. I was saying that this is the most important zone. We did not really get there. We decided that we did not want to be in this area anymore. Euro's looking pretty bearish all over. I think either my wife or the cats were making some racket upstairs. I have a work from home office basement. It's awesome working from home. Except you I don't know if anybody else trades for a living here, but when I worked in a different field for 12 years. I worked in healthcare for 12 years before I became an independent trader. And now I work now more than I ever used to, but it's different because I like it and I love it. And I have to do it. I have to eat. I have to pay for mortgage, insurance, truck. My wife's Audi that looks like a pregnant roller skate. It's a weird looking vehicle. Okay, I'm rambling here, but the trade on our euro pound pair, we're not getting a huge level of support here. We are getting increasing volume as we go down here, but I don't like the trade setup right now. Look at the 8-hour. Yeah, I'm not a fan of going in short yet. I think that I'm a little frustrated. I missed that move. Yeah, kind of missed the boat. But that just means really I feel like this is gonna go lower. But the pullback may be violent. This guy can have some big swings up. So really, maybe by tomorrow, by the time we meet again, we might have another opportunity. But I'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to update the signals page as we go through the day, and if something changes, I'll put something up there. Because I would really like to get back in here. I'd be comfortable myself entering short, but I really want to maximize my entry, so I want to wait for it to go back heck, if it doesn't go back up here, if it just continues to sell off, I mean, big deal. Well, it is a big deal, but um, you've it's there's one thing worse than missing a trade that you felt was going to go the direction it was going to go and then you missed it. The next worst thing is, I think that's actually worse than that, is then trying to chase it back, like trying to say, okay, I'm going to get in the move now. When it looks like you've missed the boat, you've missed the boat. All right, and really, that's a good thing to think when you say miss the boat. Like if you were running out to catch a ship and it was or some buddies were in a rowboat and they were 300 yards away from shore, if it looks like you missed it, you did. And it's usually not a good idea to get in the water and then swim 300 yards to see if you can catch them. That's how you drown or get eaten by a shark. It's just not a good idea. The pound dollar. Very flat, muted movement. I remember we had a short bias on Friday. Actually, all of our trades last week panned out pretty nicely, except for gold. That one was the one that kind of sat around a lot. I'm just pulling up my chair here. I gotta move my anti-fatigue mat and pull up my chair. Okay. Actually, it's a stool. I use a standing desk. This guy, neutral daddy. Just because the dollar is showing a lot of bit of a rebound here, I'm bearish on this guy. I don't see. There's actually pretty good signals for a short here. But maybe we want to wait till we get probably below at 13525. Yeah. You know what, folks? While we're doing this, let me. Oh. I am throwing these into the signals thing. I don't know if it's going to update, so I'll have to take a look here. Anyways, let's see. The UJ pair. Now, for whatever reason, this guy was doing pretty well overnight and now has just really taken a dive over the last hour. This trend line was broken again. It was finding support. I want to get back in long, and I'm actually happy that this is happening. But so my re-entry here, I'm actually going to want to go lower to 112.79. That's where I'm going to want to look at getting long again. Again, this is odd movement because the yen has dropped a bunch, and the euro as well has, the dollar yen pair has dropped a bunch, and so has the euro dollar. In fact, looking at this hourly candlestick that's about to end on the euro dollar pair is not the most supportive one. It is technically a reversal candlestick, but it is not looking like the best bullish candlestick action here. It's, yeah, not a healthy long conditions around here. All right, and that's kind of our Monday. Kind of our Monday moves. We'll come back, take a look at these before we bounce, but let's look at cryptocurrencies real quick. Bitcoin, if you remember, oh, you know what? Let me pull up crypto charts, my crypto charts. Okay, so if you remember, I had listed that the 1 week target, which was hit over on Friday and over the weekend, was that we'd get to the 16,660 by between 1.3 and 1.8. That did happen. Ever since then, actually ever since the yesterday, we've just kind of had a nice general move retracement from the 16,660 value area back down to 15,000, where it has been kind of mulling around a lot. We did get a whole, we're getting, this is a bunch of volume in here, just a crap ton of volume. That's the highest volume bar ever since the 21st. And it found support. Really, we want to see price go above that, but this angle is being very supportive still. And what does that look like on faster time frames? 5-minute chart. Okay, yeah, there was a swift move down here from. Yeah, it really wanted to try and push below it, but it's still below 15, and it's struggling to get back up. We'll have to see. We've had a pretty big dump in coins. I wonder if there's any reason why. Really, I mean, I like all these pullbacks. Okay, looking at Litecoin. Litecoin did have a really nice move over the weekend and late last week. Oops, come on. Here we go. Same move, same volume, type of volume spike. It did find support in this arc. It's been trading in this arc for quite some time. I have up that, I don't remember when I put this up here, but I have LTC by the 4th of February at 362. Ethereum. Again, if you haven't watched this before, if you haven't seen us, been with us, these projection arcs, resistance and support arcs. This is called a Gann square tool in TradingView, and when I put these on the chart, I don't move them. They just sit here. They've been sitting here for quite some time. Those of you who have been here for a while know that. And you know, this is how I trade and approach the markets. I approach them I view them as natural, and that they are not random, and that they follow a pattern and a momentum in both time and price. So when we get to these arcs that have been broken before, I don't know if we consider that a clear break, because it's just the first test and it didn't hold support, so this may turn into more resistance. Also, Ethereum has had some extreme run up. Major supports can be found at 1,000, but still, any buy long anywhere under the 1,000 area. Litecoin, I mean, if we fail to hold here, you know, I don't know where we'll go, where we'll end up going. It's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, I wonder if we may go back to 160. That's entirely possible. We'll see. But for right now, I don't really see a good entry anywhere yet. Want to see how this plays out. Bitcoin. Hopefully it will find support here. So my re-entry long is definitely going to be probably at 15. Oops. I'm getting. I have some other private clients that I provide analysis for, trade projections and trading accounts, and days like this, there's always a freakish panic. um, I giggle because I've almost gone broke trading many times in the past, so I'm I'm fairly I've got a fairly thick skin to this kind of movement. I don't panic because something's happened in the short run. I mean, even if Bitcoin were to fall to 8,000 or 6,000, I'm still not going to panic. I still view those as buying areas. We just, what did I say? 15,200. Yeah, there's my next long entry. In fact, I wouldn't mind for it to go lower. It'd be fine with me. But I mean, we're still on this arc. I had this. I don't know if I have this on this chart set up or not. Let me look. Well, I don't think this is the same one. This is 1 hour. No, this is not the same one. So forgive me, folks. Let me. There we go. What am I doing? There we go. Okay, so yeah, we do have some supportive areas for Bitcoin at this angle. Cleared that angle, coming down to this angle, wants to test it. When something travels halfway in between an angle, we can consider that next angle to be testing. Same as halfway between this angle and this angle. Anything above halfway in between, you got to kind of eyeball that. Those are supportive areas still. So we could just be in a nice support buying zone here coming up because this angle has acted as support in the past. It was previously resistance support. It's only been tested as support once. So we should continue to view this area as being supportive. If not, there should be a swift move down to probably 1250 or so. Yeah, we'll see. You see a lot of these moves in a lot of different things in the markets, in futures, in Forex and cryptocurrencies, in equities. This is all turning into weak hand selling. This is all turning into people abandoning positions right when they shouldn't, but they were buyers up here, so they start to feel like panicky, and then this is all emotional events. So it comes across 16,660. It's moving up. People who were feeling like they missed the boat, they started to buy in. Price went down. They got a little panicky, but then they started to feel some relief, saying, "Okay, price is coming back." And it moves back up, but then it moves back down, and they get panicky, and they get really worried. But then it moves up, and they start to feel better. Probably walk away from the screen, come back to see it down even more, and now this has happened to them 3 times. Their emotions have been torturing them, and they don't know if they can handle it, but they're going to stick with it one more time and hold on to their position, even though they've lost over $1,200 of value, and one last bit of hope, and it doesn't work out and it falls. And by this time, they are emotionally spent, and they cannot handle any more pain, so they leave their positions. It's time for them to get out. They can't handle it. But I will say what's odd about this move is that usually when you see this this kind of movement, you will observe altcoins growing, but they actually are not. They are just kind of floating around. Yep, looks like we're getting more and more. I'm scrolling through all the altcoins, my bot trades. Yeah, we're getting some return to capital flying into these ones. We'll see what happens here. Um, again, our full moon was last week on Tuesday. Actually, was that Tuesday? No, Monday, the 1st of January. We should expect that as price kind of comes back down into this value area, that we should get a lot of supportive buying back up again. All right. There is, when you have full moons, you usually have supportive buying during those phases. So our next target on mine for my 2-week area is the 10th through the 16th. We're up at 17,876. I still have that projected area. I don't see why it would not get there. Barring any massive news about cryptocurrencies being regulated or all of that jazz, we'll see. These kind of moves are a lot of fun. This is generally where you can get in a lot earlier, and if you missed the move from last week, these are great areas to get back into it. And let's see, we got Litecoin still doing its thing. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Oh, let's go back real quick to look at our Forex pairs one more time. Looking at gold. TradingView servers are a little busy, I think. Still neutral up here, not doing much. I still see it very bearish. Just the fact that price is not going any higher from this harmonic level, not a very good sign for price to keep going up. Euro, it's looking like it might get a little supportive move, but a lot of nervous. This is a nervous area to be trading for people wanting to go long. Euro pound. Yeah, this guy might break lower. Looks like it's struggling to find support at 88.37. We'll see. And then the pound dollar. Yeah, not much there. And the dollar yen. Dollar yen looks like it may be finding support here, so that's good. All right, especially on the if I'm looking at the we had some clear divergence there, didn't we, though? Fairly bearish divergence in both oscillators. That's never a good sign. But we may, what was the low on this oscillator? 1464. No, it is lower. We are approaching supportive levels on the composite index. We're going back long in UJ, but we'll see. We really want to get maybe above that trend line again. It's like every single financial market is really, the dollar index is doing okay. Futures are down. The ES. What is going on? Anything big? I don't think that the Golden Globes are the reason why something is moving down. Then again, you don't need a reason. If you try to find reasons why something is moving and it's confounding you, and you know that your analysis, you had a bias in one direction, you know it has to be right, then that's how you lose money. You cannot trade with a single viewpoint. You have to look at everything. I don't do a good enough job with you guys of going through why I am not bearish here. I look at markets and I look at how I trade, my style of trading, my approach, and I always go with the probability, where the highest probability is, and what my experience of losing lots of money has been. And yeah, I just know that I am right by following my system that has always given me a high probability and a high expectancy of wins. So yeah, it looks like we're getting supportive buying back in Bitcoins. I know I'm here a little longer than normal with you guys. I know maybe a lot of you are like to get away, stop listening by now, but I'm just looking one more time at these markets, and we may finally be finding support in that down move in cryptos. And in Forex, a little bit of support happening now in the euro. We'll see. You know, moves like this, if you're big, if you like to trade the euro a lot, the euro dollar pair. Oh man, why did I? That is just really thick line. This is a pretty steep down move. So, you know what? I don't know. There's no rule or law about this. We've all seen things happen like this. But usually when you have this steep kind of move, then you know what is most likely to happen is if price does get back above this very steep angle, is price will shoot up pretty rapidly. It may want to get above the 45, test a little bit before it starts to before it starts to trade back down. If we are okay, let's say we're talking about the end of a like the start of a new down trend using some Elliott wave. I'm not a huge Elliott wave fanatic. I think it's way too subjective. But some Elliott waivers may see this kind of move as the normal kind of setup, and then if we want to continue to be prognosticators, put in our corrective wave, and let's see. Oh, well, anyways, yeah, we'll see. I'll leave that there. See if it plays out. It would look cool, but you know, it may not. It may want to just come back up to this arc and test lower again. So those are the trades for this Monday, and let's keep an eye on all of these. I hope that this is the start. Again, this is a great week to be in because we are back into normal trading conditions. We are back into normal trading volume. The holidays, thankfully, are over. We can get back into normalcy, and you know, I hope that you guys trade smart, trade wisely. Don't take my word for it. You know, use what I show you to complement your own trading if it works for you. And you know, don't let your losers sit there as losers for a long time. And you know, if you get nervous looking at your screen when you have a trade on, just walk away from your screen. Do something else. Stop looking at the screen. Stop looking at your account value. It's just going to drive you insane. You'll trade scared. You'll trade nervous. You'll trade anxious. Just stop doing that. Anyways, we'll see you all tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great start of the week. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll keep repeating that. Bye-bye.